Hi, in this tutorial, I'm just gonna tell you about how to get the Google Maps API key for this specific plugin. Calculate prices based on distance for WooCommerce for the version 1.3.6 and onwards. So the version 1.3.5 and backwards, it's the old configuration, and it's the API key is vulnerable, and it has security concerns because it's open from the Google Cloud Console. So it's not recommended to use the 1.3.5 anymore. And I strongly recommend you guys to update the plugin to 1.3.6. So I'm just gonna tell you how the previous things were working. Just a quick overview. So previously, let's suppose someone already had the API key. So there's only one API key, and against that API key, these five API keys were enabled. But in the new setup, it's not gonna work like that anymore. Uh, from the update 1.3.6. So I'll show you how things gonna work. So let's say one day you just open your site, and there's this warning sign going on: calculate prices based on distance for WooCommerce. Action required. Important: starting from version 1.3.6, the distance calculator will not work unless the new Google Maps API settings are configured. So these two major changes are being done in the update of 1.3.6 and onwards. Public key and private API key, both are gonna be get we can both get these API keys from the Google Cloud Console. So I'm just gonna show you how. So let's move to the settings page. So in the settings, date picker and time picker, no changes so far. For the distance calculator, now you can see there are two inputs for the API keys, and there are two different API keys. The reason I'm showing you my API keys in this video is because they're already restricted, and they can only used on this site, woosolutions.ca, this site. They, even if you guys get it, you cannot abuse the API key. So that's the major change. That's what happened in this update. So I'm just gonna tell you guys how to get those two keys from the Google Cloud Console. So pretty simple. Um, there's just this link: how to get the Google Maps API key. Click on that link. Answer the basic questions, and enable the billings and stuff like that. Create a project if you already have a project. um, just select the project, and you're gonna go to that page. If you're not able to go to that page, just search the maps and click the APIs and services, and you're gonna land onto this page. So mm, let's follow this, right? So first things first. 1 2 3 4 up, 1 2 3 and 5. These are usually the API keys, which are pretty much you can say can be founded here if you want to restrict it. But for the routes API, usually it's not enabled, or it's mostly disabled. So I'm just gonna tell you how to enable that. We're just gonna search the routes API. Here you go, routes API. For me, it's already enabled. That's why it was showing. So it's already enabled. If for you, if it's not showing, just enable it, and that's it. Okay. Manage, go to keys and credentials. There's one more thing I wanted to tell. So the distance metrics API is, we're not using it anymore from the version 1.3.6 and onwards. Routes API is gonna replace the distance metrics API, because Google is not supporting the distance metrics API for the new users. Okay, let's get back to the topic. So I was just telling you how to get those two APIs. So There are two API keys which we're going to get from the Google Cloud Console: the public API key and private. So for the public, we're going to get the domain. It's the same woosolutions.ca, HTTPS, or whatever it is, just copy. And mine is already done. I'm just going to show you how. If you wanna, if you're a first time creating it, just click on credentials API key, and it's gonna be okay. It's creating. Okay, this is the API key, and this is the API key which we just created. Just name it my public API key. All right. Step 2: go to the websites, add, and paste whatever you copied from here, and then a slash and a star. Okay, done. And then there's restrict API. Unselect all of them, and we're just gonna use two API keys: maps JavaScript and places. Not the new one, the other one, places API. Okay, so again, um, name your API key, go to the websites, add your website, then slash and the star, restrict, and these two API keys: maps JavaScript API and places API. Save. Okay, perfect. So this API key you can just copy and paste it in the public. I'm not gonna do it because I've already created this public API key and it's working perfectly fine. So for the private, get IP for restriction. So this is kind of like complex because for the 90% of the users, it will work. The tool I've just created, get IP for restrictions, it will give you the outbound IP. But just in case if it doesn't give you the outbound IP, you can just contact your hosting provider to give you the outbound IP. So they're just gonna provide you the outbound IP, and you're just gonna copy that. And let's create a new API key for the public, sorry, private, because first we created the public and now we're gonna create a private API key. All right, so private API key has been created. This one, API key 5. I'm just gonna name it private API key. Yeah, API key. Um, so for this, you're gonna go to the IP addresses, add, and just paste it. No stars, no slash. As simple as that. Done. And again, we're not gonna need all of them. So just directions. Yes, we do. Geocoding. Yes, we do. Geolocation. No. No distance metrics in this version. Previous, yes, we were using, but right now we're not, and we're not gonna use the distance metrics for the other versions. Uncheck all of them and leave the routes API checked, and that's it. Geocoding, routes, and directions. Um, yes. I'm just gonna check. No, it's yeah, it's geocoding, directions, and routes. Geocoding, directions, and routes. Yeah, geocoding, directions, and routes API key. So just save it, and so this is the API key we just created. Show key. You can just copy, paste it here, and save. That's it. So yeah, just copy the API key and paste it here, the public and private both, and yeah, just save it. And then first you have to save it, and then the autocomplete's gonna work. Without saving, the autocomplete might not work. 1, 2, 3, any address. So right now it's Toronto downtown, Toronto street, Toronto, Canada, and cost per kilometer is 1, and the unit is kilometer. So let's just check if it's working or not. So this is the location which we just entered, this one, and I'm just gonna add random location. Okay, calculate. Okay, perfect. Added 40.07. So this is the real-time distance calculation. This is the customer destination. This is the shop or storage region or whatever it is. And if you're gonna order, it's also gonna be on the orders page, and just gonna show you. All right. So this is the one we just started. This is the one. All right. Yeah. So customer address, store option, date, time, and it's also gonna be these details. These are also included in this email too. So I hope you understand. Even if you did not, just follow these steps or watch the video, and you can just keep doing the check boxes, and because it has literally all the steps. Even still, if you don't understand, just contact our support team, or you can also create a ticket on WordPress.org support portal for this special for this plugin. Okay, that's all. Thank you.